Hi guys, so welcome to our channel. And in this batch, you will know about audit. You will study about audit, and it is a regular batch on CA Inter Audit for May 25 and September 25 students. So yesterday we discussed till the sale on return basis. Okay. Now the next topic will be scrap. How to verify or check the scrap, how to audit the scrap. Okay, scrap. Okay. Hmm. First aspect will be internal control. Okay, in checking the internal control, we should first check who has the custody of scrap. Okay, who has the custody of scrap. Second, we will check who has the power to issue scrap. Okay, first, we check about who has the custody of scrap, and second, we will check about who has the power to issue scrap. Okay, power to issue scrap. Second thing will be whether proper records have been made. Whether proper records are made. Records are made. Third will be whether scraps sold at scraps sold at reasonable price. Okay. Fourth will be whether proper tender system have been present, whether proper tender system is present. Fifth will be analytical review procedure. Analytical review procedure. Okay. And what will be the part of analytical review procedure? First, we'll compare. First, we'll compare scrap price of scrap price of current year, scrap price of current year with scrap price of previous year. Scrap price of previous year. Okay. Second will be will compare scrap generation pattern. Scrap generation pattern of current year with scrap generation pattern of previous year. Scrap generation pattern of previous year. Okay. Obviously, if any significant variance is present, then inquire with management. If any significant variance is present, inquire with management. Okay. Inquire with management. Okay. Yes. Also, check whether good units are not sold as scrap, are not sold as scrap. Okay. And the last thing can be exa examine contract with scrap dealers, scrap dealers, and invoice. Scrap dealers and invoice. Okay. So in case of scrap, for verification of internal control, check who has the custody of scrap and power to issue scrap. Okay. Whether proper records are made, whether scrap sold at reasonable price, whether proper tender system is present. And for analytical review procedure, compare current year scrap price with previous year scrap price and compare current year scrap generation pattern with previous year scrap generation pattern. Okay. And if any significant variance is present, inquire with management. And check whether good units are not sold as scrap and examine contract with scrap dealers and invoice. Okay. Then comes the part of miscellaneous income. Okay. And what can be the miscellaneous income? Dividend, interest on FD, gain or loss on sale of investment. Okay. But when do we recognize the miscellaneous income? Okay. Miscellaneous income. When do we do Sorry, I am not that fluent in English. But but when do we recognize miscellaneous income? Recognition, dividend, interest on FD, on sale of investment. First of all, dividend. Okay, recognize when right to receive dividend, receive dividend is established. Established. Okay, dividend established. Not if. Second will be economic benefit will flow to the entity. Economic benefit will flow to the entity. Amount can be measured reliably. Amount can be measured reliably. Interest on FD will be recognized on recognized on time proportionate basis. Time proportionate basis. Considering amount outstanding and rate of interest. Amount outstanding and rate of interest. Rate of interest. Okay. And gain or loss on sale of investment will be recognized when first of all on transfer of title. On transfer of title. And what will be the amount? Amount will be redemption value or sale value. Redemption value minus carrying value. You already know about carrying value as you already read essay AS 13. Yes, AS 13, Accounting Standard 13, carrying value. Okay. So when will we recognize dividend, interest on FD and gain on loss of investment? For dividend, recognize when right to receive dividend established, economic benefit will flow to the entity and amount can be measured reliably. Okay. For interest on FD, recognized on time proportionate basis, considering amount outstanding and rate of interest, and gain or loss on sale of investment will be recognized and transfer of title. Amount will be redemption value minus carrying value. Okay. Now audit of interest on FD. Audit of interest on FD. Audit of interest on FD. Just use your common sense. If it is interest on FD, it will be based on FD. Okay. So first of all, we should obtain list of all the FD. Just use your common sense. If the interest is based on FD, we'll first obtain the list of FDs, na? In the list of FDs, all the FDs, all the chapter number 5, audit of items of financial statement, is explicitly uh, and very deeply based on common sense. If you use your common sense, you just have to read the chapter for just one time or two time. बहुत लोग क्या करते हैं कि इसको बार बार रटने का कोशिश करते हैं. Everyone, not everyone, many students try to uh, जस्ट भाई रटने का मुझे इंग्लिश नहीं पता है. ठीक है, तो हाँ, जस्ट हाँ, many students try to memorize it. Don't memorize it. Just understand the concept and give it a practical example. Okay. Obtain list of all the FDs of client of client. Okay. Second will be obtain the amount outstanding. Obtain the amount outstanding and applicable interest rate. Applicable interest rate. Recompute the interest on FD. The interest on FD to ensure arithmetical accuracy. To ensure arithmetical accuracy. Fourth will be obtain direct confirmation from bank. Obtain direct confirmation from bank. Oh, sorry for one thing. Yesterday we discussed about sale and purchases, na? Here I missed a point of just give me 1 minute. Okay. Here I missed a point of it is an important point, but I missed it. Sorry for that. Obtain obtain written representation from management that all purchases all purchases and sales are recorded. Okay, because in practical life you cannot know whether all the purchases and sales are recorded. Okay. Hmm. Fifth will be acha, obtain direct confirmation from bank and reconcile with calculation of the entity. Okay, with calculation of entity. Like if bank told the auditor that the client entity have 50,000 balance of FD at the on which interest is at the rate of 6%. Okay, so the interest will be 300 rupees, but the client entity shows that the interest is for a FD of 1 lakh and interest rate is at the rate 6%. Then 50,000. 50,000 for 50,000 interest will be 3,000. Okay, but the client entity shows that they have an FD of rupees 1 lakh and on which interest is applicable at the rate of 6%. So the entities created the interest of rupees 6,000, but it is wrong. So obtain direct confirmation from bank and reconcile with calculation of entity. In case of interest outstanding, interest outstanding, obtain direct confirmation from bank. Obtain direct confirmation from bank. And examine form number 26 AS with regards to TDS deducted with regards to TDS deducted. Form number 26 AS is regarding TDS. Okay, deducted and reconcile with calculation of entry and reconcile TDS is applicable on interest on FD at the rate of 10%. Section number is 192. 192A or 192A, जितना तक मुझे याद है 192A. Reconcile with calculation of client. Calculation of client. Okay. So this will be the part of audit of interest on FD. Obtain list of all the FDs. Obtain the list of amount outstanding and applicable interest rate. We compute the interest on FD to ensure arithmetical accuracy. Obtain direct confirmation from bank and reconcile with calculation of entity. In case of interest outstanding, obtain direct confirmation from bank and examine form number 26 AS and reconcile with calculation of client. Okay. Now, sale on consignment. Sale on consignment. Sale on consignment. Okay. It is the last part of income. Then the expenses part will be start, and we already discussed the purchase audit of purchase with audit of sales. Okay. Hmm. Sale on consignment. Check consignment agreement. Check consignment agreement. Recompute the commission. Recompute the commission. Examine performer invoice. Examine performer invoice. Uh, if goods unsold in the year end. Year end on part of consignee. On part of consignee. It should be counted in the stock of consignor. You already studied consignment account na? In foundation. You can link up the concept. If goods unsold in the year end on part of consignee, it will be included in the closing stock of consignor. It should be counted in the closing stock of consignor. Closing stock of consignor. Consignor. Obtain direct confirmation from consignee. Obtain direct confirmation from consignee. Consignee. Okay. So check the consignment agreement, direct confirmation from consignee, recompute the commission, examine the performer invoice. If goods unsold in the part of consignee, it should be counted in closing stock of consignee. Okay. Now comes the expenses part. First expense will be employee benefit expense. Employee benefit expense. First of all, check check whether dummy workers are not employed, are not employed. And how do you check that? Check entities, check entities process for capturing attendance. Okay. Demand and check ID proof. ID proof. Ensure and examine bank details. Ensure and examine bank details. Meet the meet the employees personally. Employees personally. Obviously on sample basis. Examine salary register. Okay. If PF, PSI, TDS deducted from salary of employees. Deducted from salary of employees. First of all, recompute by applying interest rate. Applying rate, sorry. Recompute by applying rate. and examine the challans. Examine the challans. The challans to ensure that to ensure that PF, ESI, TDS has been deposited. Has been deposited. Okay. Third point can be perform analytical review procedure. Perform analytical review procedure. And what will be the analytical review procedure? Compare, compare per employee per employee production with the similar firm figures, with the similar firm figures, compare current year figure with that current year figure with that of previous year figure, with that of previous year figure. In case of newly hired, okay. Check appointment letter, check appointment letter, and second will be ensure that salary is created as per appointment letter. Salary is ensure that salary is created as per appointment letter. Case of retired or resigned employee, ensure all applicable laws are complied. Ensure all applicable laws are complied. Examine the recomputation. Examine the recomputation and examine the acknowledgement provided by employee. Examine the acknowledgement provided by employee. Okay. For checking whether the army workers are not employed, check entities process for capturing attendance, demand and check ID proof, ensure and examine bank details, meet the employees personally, and examine salary register for PF, ESI deducted, then recompute by applying rate and examine the challenge to ensure that PF, ESI, TDS has been deposited, perform ARP, compare per employee protection with similar firm figures, and compare current year figure with that of previous year figures. Okay. Newly hired, check appointment letter, ensure the salary is created as per the appointment letter. Retired or resigned for retired and resigned employee, ensure all applicable laws are complied, examine the recomputation and examine the acknowledgement provided by employee. Okay. Okay. So now the expenses part already began in employees benefit expenses, and now the depreciation part will come and depreciate audit of depreciation and amortization. Okay. Second topic is audit of depreciation, audit of depreciation and amortization. Auditor shall follow the procedure stated. Okay. Procedure stated. First will be understanding entities accounting policy. Entities accounting policy. Depreciation should be depreciation should be as per provisions of Companies Act of Companies Act 2013. Ensure compliance of AS10. Ensure compliance of AS10. Ensure that the depreciation is charged for. Ensure that the depreciation is charged for a proper period. A proper period. Examine the computation of depreciation. Examine the computation of depreciation. Computation of depreciation. Okay. Entity must consider entity must consider residual value of residual value of asset while calculating depreciation. Calculating depreciation. Accounting policies must be consistent. Accounting policy must be consistent. Okay. Ensure that ensure that entity has identified components of asset. Components of asset and whether best method best method has been has been charged for each component for each component. Okay. Now the okay, let's recap the depreciation part. Depreciation and amortization part. Auditors shall follow the procedure stated, understanding the entity's accounting policy. Depreciation as per provisions of Companies Act. Depreciation should be as per provision of Companies Act. Ensure compliance of AS10. Ensure that depreciation is charged for a proper period. Examine the computation of depreciation and entity must consider residual value, matlab scrap value of asset while calculating depreciation. Accounting policy must be consistent. Obviously, the company सेक्ट part will be only for company. Okay, company मतलब body corporate जो भी है. Accounting policy must be consistent, ensure that entity has identified components of asset and whether the base method has been charged for each component. Okay, now the general expenses part will be just like power and fuel, printing and stationery, like that. Okay. Uh, First, let's discuss about foreign travel expense and then we'll come to general expenses. Okay. Foreign travel expense. Obviously, it should be authorized by proper person. Authorized by proper person. Examine hotel. Examine hotel bills, flight tickets, and invoices, etc. Okay. Third point can be demand and examine to report. Also insert the purpose of the tool. Purpose of the tool. Okay. Ensure whether permission. Ensure whether permission. RBI already set an amount for individual traveler. Okay, so if the person is willing to spend more or withdraw more foreign exchange above permissible limit, he or she shall take permission from RBI. Okay, ensure whether permission of RBI obtained for withdrawing foreign exchange above the permissible limit. Above the permissible limit. Also, as the this section, this topic is connected with foreign exchange, na? So the AS11 will be applicable. Examine compliance of AS11. Examine compliance of AS11. Ensure that ensure that there is separate disclosure. Separate disclosure on foreign expense spent on foreign exchange on foreign exchange spent as per Schedule 3 and examine the CA bills, okay, submitted by employees. Submitted by employees. So for auditing the foreign travel expense, it should be authorized by proper person. Um, examine the hotel bills, flight tickets and invoices. Demand and examine tour report. Ensure whether permission of RBI obtained. Um, examine compliance of AS11. Ensure that there is a separate disclosure on foreign exchange spent as per Schedule 3 and examine the POS. Now comes the general expenses part. General expenses mean it includes power and fuel, printing and stationery, traveling expenses, matlab conveyance expense, and like that. Okay, just wait a 2 minutes. Yeah. Common attributes for general expenses. For example, printing and stationery, power and fuel, traveling expenses, etc. Okay. First of all, check whether the expenditure is in revenue nature. It is related to the entity. It is for a proper period. examine the evidence of expense, evidence of expense. Check if the expense are correctly placed. Expense are correctly placed. And expenses must be authorized. Must be authorized. Okay. So check whether the expenditure is in revenue nature. It is related to the entity. It is for a proper period. Examine the invoice of expenses. Check if the expenses are correctly placed and expenses must be authorized. Okay. It is a common attribute. Obviously, it is a common attribute. Now we'll discuss about the individual part of general expenses. Okay. Types of general expenses individually. Huh. Okay. You can create little boxes. Okay. Uh, if you write properly, there is six types of general expenses. Okay. And if you write properly, then you can comprise it in one page. Okay. Let's start. First is rent paid. Rent paid. Rent paid, legal expense, and insurance expense. Insurance expense. Rent paid, legal expense, insurance. For rent paid, examine rent agreement, examine. It is all common sense. Okay. ये कोई हाथी घोड़ा मैदान नहीं है. Examine rent agreement. Compute rent. Compute rent as per rent agreement. As per rent agreement. There should be name of the entity. There should be name of the entity in the rent agreement. And part B will be Place or premises which is on rent. Place or premises which is on rent should be it should be used for purpose of such entity. For purpose of such entity. Legal expense. In case of legal expense, obtain list of external legal counsel. Obtain list of external legal counsel. Examine the retentionship agreement. Examine the retention agreement. Yes, agreement. Third is obtain direct confirmation. Obtain direct confirmation from external legal counsel. From legal counsel. And examine legal expense account. Examine legal expense account. Okay. And for insurance expenses, obtain list of obtain list of insurance policies. Insurance policies. Ensure that insurance policy in the name of the entity is in the name of the entity. Examine receipt of insurance premium paid. Examine receipt of insurance premium paid and it should be for proper period. It should be for proper period. And also prepaid insurance shall be classified. Prepaid insurance shall be classified. Okay? Rent paid means examine the rent agreement, compute as per rent agreement, compute rent as per rent agreement. There should be name of the entity on the rent agreement and place the premises on rent. It should be used for purpose of such entity. Okay? For legal expense, obtain list of external legal counsel, examine the retentionship agreement, obtain direct confirmation, and examine the legal expense. For insurance expense, obtain list of insurance policies, ensure that insurance policy is in the name of the entity, examine the receipt of insurance premium paid, and it should be for proper period, and prepaid insurance shall be classified. Okay. Now the next three part. Okay. Fuel, printing, stationery, and traveling. Printing, stationery, and traveling, and payment of income tax. It is payment of income tax, and what you read yesterday or day before yesterday, uh, that is the provision of income tax. Okay, provision of income tax and payment of income tax is two different things. Payment of income tax. Okay, power and fuel. First of all, obtain month-wise expense. Obtain and reconcile power or electricity bill. Check arithmetical accuracy. Number of unit consumed. The rate per unit. Perform analytical review procedure. ARP. Check per unit. Goods created by using per unit power and fuel, and fuel. Check month-wise trend, and compare. And obviously, in case of significant variance, in case of significant variation, significant variation, inquiries management, inquiries management. For printing and stationery, check common attributes. Common attributes, which we discussed just uh, some minutes ago. Some minutes or some minutes. Check common attributes discussed earlier. Contain will be analytical review procedure. Check expense per unit of production. Production and and compare with previous year. In case of significant variance, the correct management. In case of significant variance, significant variation, inquire with management. And for payment of income tax, examine the assessment made by the client. Examine the assessment made by the client. Consider demand order from assessing officer, from assessing officer, in case of advance tax, mm, if paid, okay, check challan. If not paid, Interest shall be debited, interest shall be debited into account. Okay. In case of payment by via any other person, challan should contain plan of SEP. Challan should contain plan of SEP. And obviously it is not necessary to make payment from account of client. Okay. So for auditing of power and fuel, obtain month-wise expense. Obtain month-wise expense, obtain and reconcile power and electricity bill, check arithmetical accuracy with regards to analytical review procedure, compare per unit goods created by using per unit power and fuel, check month-wise trend and compare, and in case of significant variance, inquire with management. For printing and stationery, check common attributes, check the expenses per unit of production and compare with previous year. And in case of significant variance, compare with management. Payment of income tax is in the assessment made by the client. Consider the demand order from assessing officer. In case of advance tax, if paid, check challan. If not paid, interest shall be debited into account. In case of payment by any other person, challan should contain PAN of it. And it is not necessary to make payment from client account. Okay. Okay. Now comes the notes to account part. It is the last part of the financial statement and this chapter. So your chapter will be over after discussion of this part. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay. Now the next part will be started and it is notes to accounts. First, and it is an important point. Okay. Yes, sir. What shall the auditor check about CSR? check amount required to be checked. Amount required to be spent. Required to be spent. Okay. Check amount actually spent. Actually spent. Okay. Oh, third will be check shortfall during the year. Shortfall during the year. Check shortfall during the previous year. During the previous year. These will be reasons for shortfall. Examine. Examine reasons for shortfall. Examine. No. Ensure. Ensure. Proper provisions are made. Proper provisions are made. Okay. So for CHR, check amount required to be spent, check amount actually spent, shortfall during the year, shortfall during the previous year, examine reasons for shortfall, and ensure proper provisions are made. Now comes the ratio part. Okay, give numbering. Okay, one, two. Here are some key ratios. Okay, first of all will be current ratio, debt to equity ratio, net profit ratio, inventory turnover ratio, data turnover ratio, data turnover ratio, capital turnover ratio, return on equity, on equity. 9 will be return on capital employed and return of investment. Return on investment. Okay. These are the return ratio. These are the turnover ratio. Okay. Check these ratios. It should also check these ratios. Turnover ratio. Now comes the Benami property part. Okay. Third will be Benami property. Property. Benami property means where proceedings proceedings are initiated initiated or pending against the company. Pending against the company. First of all will be details of money. Second will be beneficiary details. Beneficiary details. Third will be properties amount. Properties amount. Fourth will be reference in balance sheet. Reference in balance sheet. It will be, if not in the book, then if not in the book, then state the fact plus reason why not in the book. Whether the proceeding against the company as an arbiter or transferor. Okay. Seventh will be nature of proceeding. Seven will be uh, nature proceeding, status on particular note. Third will be company's view on the same. View on the same. Now the relationship with other companies. Relationship with other company. Relationship is uh, I don't want to comment on that. Any other company whose name is staff of by ROC. Staff of means name is uh, uh, name is erased from ROC. Okay, or the company is closed. Name of stock of company. Name of stock of company. Nature of transaction. Transaction. Balance outstanding and relationship with stock of company and relationship with stock of company. Stock of company. Okay. Now the last part will be it is newly included part, so it is an important part. Trade or invested in cryptocurrency currency during financial year. Following should be disclosed: profit or loss on sale of cryptocurrency, on sale of cryptocurrency, amount held on balance sheet date, amount held on balance sheet date, and whether any deposit, whether any deposit or advance advance receipt for receipt for trading or investment in cryptocurrency. So for Benami property, details of money, property details, property amount, difference in balance sheet. If not in the books, then state the facts, the reason, and whether the proceeding against the company as an arbiter and transferor and nature of proceeding status on 31st March and company's view on the same for relationship with any other company whose name is struck off by the by the ROC, name of the struck off company, nature of transaction, balance outstanding, and relationship with struck off company. And in case of trade or investment in cryptocurrency during financial year, profit and loss on sale of cryptocurrency, amount held on balance sheet date, and whether any deposit or advance receipt for trading or investment in cryptocurrency shall be disclosed. Okay, so the chapter 5 is completed. And tomorrow we will start chapter number 6, audit documentation. So bye. And if you like this course, do subscribe. And my English is not good, sorry. अगर किसी को भी ऐसा लगा कि बहुत गंदा इंग्लिश बोल रहे और फंबल कर रहा हूँ मैं, आई एम रियली रियली सॉरी. I'm not that fluent in English, but I tried my level best to provide you with English. Provide मैं इंग्लिश बोलने का बहुत कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, मेरे से जितना हो सके मैं कर रहा हूँ. Bye.